The Indiana Fever have welcomed Sophie Cunningham back. You can learn a lot about the Fever front office's operations from the way this signing went. Throughout the first day, Fever supporters perspired without saying anything about Sophie. Everyone went into complete panic after she posted on Instagram about betting on herself. However, this is what really took place in the background. The transaction had already been completed. The Fever was... The entire front court picture for 2026 is altered by simply waiting for the announcement as they try to find a second enforcer to defend Caitlin Clark and who they ultimately target. When Sophie Cunningham eventually talks up about going back and having a second enforcer with her, you'll become excited. Are you thrilled to see Sophie again? Who do you suppose the Fever signed as its second enforcer? Tell me in the comments section below. Man, Sophie is a wild card. Sophie is a dog. Although she is a competitor, her energy boosts everyone around her to a higher level of play. She is undoubtedly an X factor. On April 11th, the first day of free agency began, and Fever supporters were glued to their phones as the announcements came in. Kelsey Mitchell focused on her Supermax. Lexi Hull is returning. Billings, Monique signed. Harris, Tyasha signed. The feed simply ceased after that. No, Sophie Cunningham. After experiencing the euphoria of a deep playoff run, Fever fans were left with nothing to do but check Twitter and panic, which is precisely what they did. Then, everything became worse when the Instagram post appeared. For me, that's how casting works. However, what I'm saying isn't as if I detest people. Screw other people's speech, thoughts, and deeds. Place a wager on yourself. Place a wager on the effort you have put in and will continue to put in. Like, if you do that, you will succeed. Check out my running view as well. Gorgeous. All Sophie had to do was post something about wagering on herself. Inside. In a matter of hours, the fan base had already come to the conclusion that Trace Lesh was leaving, that she was testing the market, that she wanted more money than Indiana would give her, and that the Trace Leche period was over before 2026 had even begun. There was a lot of concern as people were composing her exit narrative in real time. Every team claims to have the top fans in the entire Western Conference, but they're all lying. Like me, they are fierce. Therefore, it's really difficult for others when you include them. Teams to enter and participate. Playing with Sophie is a lot of fun. She exudes a distinct vitality. It's something you can impart or instruct others to behave in. You thrive on the opportunity to play with her, and I'm really appreciative of the opportunity to play with her. That's Sophie Cunningham when I discuss effort. You can't teach that kind of stuff. And that's how you win games, in my opinion. And we have a fair chance of becoming more like Sophie if we can all just do that. However, the agreement was finalized prior to the start of free agency. The front office decided to hold off on making the announcement while they figured up something completely different because the Fever and Sophie Cunningham had reached an agreement. Amber Cox. I'm the head of Indiana's front office, wasn't rushing to understand Sophie's predicament. They were following two front court targets, conducting a covert second discussion at the same time, and waiting to see how the market developed before making any announcements. Atlanta Smith and Azora Stevens were the two names they were keeping an eye on. They are both free agents. They are both front court players who would complement Aaliyah Boston. Indiana delayed announcing Cunningham's arrival because they wanted to know if they could land one of them without blowing up their cap. Return until the image has cleared. It was more than window shopping. It was a serious negotiation. The Fever legitimately wanted to increase the depth of their front court, and they wanted to determine whether they could afford to accomplish both. Now, Alana Smith was someone that many, including myself, wanted to start as a power forward for the Indiana Fever. Alana Smith is traveling to Dallas. Alana Smith accepted the Dallas Wings 3-year maximum contract. I think $1 million apiece. $1 million annually. Is the amount overpaid? Indeed. All of these teams overpaid when it came to free agency. They were all overpaid. They were all grossly overpaid. It was unable to. The Dallas Wings signed Smith. Stevens visited the Chicago Sky. They both demanded contracts from Max, and Indiana refused to give Max money for either player when it wasn't supported by the math. On April 12th, the Cunningham statement was made virtually immediately after those doors closed. The Cunningham trade had been ready the entire time, so once the front court market stabilized, everything proceeded quickly. Looking back at the timeline, you can see that the front office wasn't unorganized or unprepared for the delay. Amber Cox and the group were simultaneously executing several scenarios. maintaining their position until the market compelled them to make a choice, then acting swiftly after that. Instead of responding to whatever comes through the door, that front office is knowledgeable about what it's doing. Lexi Hull was coming back. Cece's presence was previously known to us. Will they be able to reach an agreement with Sophie Cunningham? Many of us were hoping for both Lexi and Sophie back, but many of us also wondered if that would actually occur. Will someone make them an irresistible financial offer? A deal so good they couldn't refuse? Or would they say, you know what, I like what we're doing over here in Indiana. I'm coming back? Regarding Sophie's self-betting post, she had been rather forthright about her desire for long-term stability prior to entering free agency in her upcoming deal. Therefore, from her point of view, presenting things that way made perfect sense. It was truthful. She was publicly expressing her desire for a longer contract beyond 1 year. Because they were already anxious, fans see it as a farewell and fill in any holes they come across. However, Sophie was aware of her circumstances, and the front desk was aware of the terms of the agreement. The people who wrote about her departure on Twitter were the only ones who were genuinely taken aback by any of this. Whether she's glad to be back isn't the true question the signing raises. Even though the announcement was postponed by a whole day, Indiana wanted her back in the first place because of what she truly contributes to this club. The return of Sophie Cunningham, one of the best shooters and quick momentum swingers in the WNBA, gives the Fever a significant boost at guard depth. Cunningham's injuries prevented him from ever fully demonstrate her abilities during her first year in Indiana. She was unable to get off to the start she desired due to 2 May ankle ailments. After that, she simply changed over the course of more than a month to become possibly the finest shooter in the league. The phenomenon of scorching three-point shooting is genuine and significant. However, you're ignoring the portion that Caitlin Clark most likely cares about if that's the only reason you believe Sophie Cunningham is on this roster. Clark is among the fastest runners. Offenses inside the league. With each possession, she draws opponents to her. She makes contact all the time. Additionally, she works in traffic that the majority of guards simply ignore. This poses a unique issue for Indiana. Someone with a Fever must react when other teams determine that physical contact with Clark is the most effective approach to slow her down. Every time, not just once. Because the physical play continues and gets worse if there is no reaction. Clark's rhythm weakens as a result. Sophie Cunningham plays just that role, and the best illustration of it occurred in June 2025 when she faced the Connecticut Sun. Let's get started. They are 10 points behind. Watch her and JC's Sheldon. Clark is attempting to dissuade her. Clark is doing okay. Sheldon hits Clark in the face as a foul. That has offended Clark. And everyone is then offended by that. Marina Mabrey enters. She manipulates Clark. On both sides, tensions are rising. Marina Mabrey shoved Clark after JC's Sheldon jabbed her in the eye. Later on in the same game, Cunningham pulled JC Sheldon to the ground while he was attempting a layup. It wasn't at random. Clark had been physically assaulted by Sheldon. When Cunningham intervened, she was also struck with a fine and expelled. She didn't think twice. The message had to be delivered clearly, so even though she understood what she was doing, she did it. Going after Clark in that manner has a cost, and Cunningham is the one who bears it. Sophie gives JC Sheldon a hard foul. Once more, Sophie Bear embraces JC's Sheldon and pulls her to the ground as she is about to lie down. And I will state that Sophie did not seize her and fling her to the ground. She didn't give her a body slam. I don't think she did anything. I may be biased, but I'm going to be completely honest with you all about this. This is what makes her truly difficult to replace on this roster. She does more than just extend the floor as an enforcer. A little, and she's more than just a shooter who may be aggressive at times. She was one of the league's top outside shooters throughout a portion of the 2025 season, finishing at 43% from 3. And she plays with such physicality that the opposition coaches must simultaneously take both into consideration. An open 3 is the penalty for a defender who sags off her to help stop Clark's drive. Clark is given the lane by a defender who remains attached to her. The point is that there isn't a simple solution. Although the Fever's official statement following the deal praised her as one of the league's top three-point shooters and highlighted her contagious energy, the players in that locker room understand that the true worth is more straightforward. Clark has a strong attacking style. She is able to accelerate. Because she is aware that Cunningham is around and the opposing squad is aware of it, she may make contact and accept blows. That as well. Cunningham had a scorching 53% three-point shooting percentage between July 11th and August 15th. With at least 30 attempts, she was the WNBA's best three-point shooter during that period. In 2025, the only thing that could hold her back was the terrible injury bug. And Indiana now has two players next to Clark who can both shoot the ball and don't back down when things get physical, thanks to Lexi Hall's perimeter defense and spacing. This combination compels opposing coaches to make difficult decisions about each defensive strategy they devise. Neither of them can be deceived or intimidated into being softer. Sophie Cunningham received a one-year contract while openly stating that she intended her next one to be long-term. The obvious question is if Indiana simply locked in a player who is already psychologically halfway out the door, or if she is genuinely delighted about that. Cunningham is renowned. She used a fierce style of play to lay it on the line. Cunningham returns to the Indiana Fever with an undeniable relentlessness, whether it's making threes on offense, unforcing turnovers with her tenacious defense, or not being scared to have her teammates back. She really is unique. Sophie Cunningham, welcome back to Indiana. Given her current position in her job, the worry makes sense. She is 28 years old. Her best shooting had recently been completed. Season and her market value is increasing. Although it's reasonable to point out that a one-year contract doesn't give her the security she claimed to want, the Fever's offer was strong enough for her to accept. Furthermore, her motivations for staying go beyond the amount specified in the contract. Thanks almost exclusively to Clark, Indiana is currently one of the most prominent markets for women's basketball, and it entails off-court revenue, appearances, brand partnerships, sponsorships, on and media opportunities throughout the Midwest that are just not available anywhere else in the league. In 2026, playing with Caitlin Clark has a significant impact on a player's public image. Even though Cunningham's contract term doesn't reflect the math, she is aware of it. Hey everyone, Sophie Cunningham is back. Have you seen the shooting split? Come on, dude, even if it's only for a year, Sophie Cunningham is a fantastic addition to this team, and we are thrilled to have her back. It would have been wonderful to receive she won't return for a few years, but we'll take what we can. Perhaps they will fire her during the upcoming offseason. The Fever did not create the one-year structure, especially for Cunningham. Right now, it's the front office approach for all of the costly components of the team. Seeing Kelsey Mitchell signed a one-year Supermax extension. Nearly immediately after the contracts were announced, analyst Alexa brought this out, stating that it's not surprising to see Indiana is offering one-year contracts, because Aaliyah Boston is qualified for the new CBA's EPIC provision this year, and Clark can receive a significant pay increase next year. The Fever would need to make significant retooling in order to fit everyone under the cap. Additionally, retooling is much cleaner when your key players aren't bound by long-term contracts that reduce the amount of room you require. In actuality, the front office is keeping the calculations open for 2027, when Boston, Clark, and Mitchell is eligible for maximum-level contracts that will completely alter Indiana's cap situation. Both Boston and Clark may be eligible for the EPIC Max designation under the new CBA, and those agreements will be enormous. The Fever would be negotiating with one hand tied behind their back in 2027 if they had signed Cunningham and other players to multi-year contracts today. Options are preserved by short periods, and Indiana needs options right now. Many people are feeling disengaged from Kelsey Mitchell, as she stole every penny. All right, look at this. Kelsey Plum agreed to a one-year, $1 million contract to rejoin the Los Angeles Sparks. Plum was waiting for $4 million, but chose to contract at a lower price to allow LA the financial flexibility to develop a contender for the championship. Many others are now saying, hey man, this is what we were thinking Kelsey would have done if she were serious about attempting to win. The only exception is Lexi Hall's multi-year extension, which actually provides a rather clear explanation of the regulation. When Clark and Boston reach maximum territory, Hall won't have a cap issue because they are young enough and on a pay structure. Her contract won't box the front office the way a multi-year Cunningham deal might, because Hull is accepting considerably less money for everyone outside that young player. She confirmed the signing in a TikTok video with Clark, which seemed extremely on brand for both of them. Core. The trend is shorter terms. Instruct a friend to inform another friend that she has returned. Cunningham isn't being marginalized or dismissed. She is being asked to trust the plan for another year. I'm review it with this group and then allow the front office to recalculate the calculations using a more accurate cap sheet in 2027. Being undervalued is not the same as that, and that was confirmed by her own comments upon the signing. This isn't how a player acts when she feels like she got a lousy contract. Instead, she told reporters she had a feeling this is going to be another fantastic season. "Let's get spicy," she said, breaking her silence over the deal. 1 year, one more run at it with Clark, Mitchell, Boston, and Hull. Additionally, the front office is already considering how the squad will appear after the significant deals are signed. The rotation of the guard is locked. The backcourt with Clark, Mitchell, Hull, Cunningham, and Tyasha Harris can go 5 deep without sacrificing defense, shooting, or physicality. Or Indiana can say that about their guards, something that most teams in this league are unable to do. Right now, the debate about the front court is quite different. We still require a starting power forward, in my opinion. Later on, we will discuss that. Off the bench is Monique Billings. Off the bench is Ty Harris, a B at number 5. We'll see if the Indiana Fever are finished or if they plan to make any further moves. Aaliyah Boston is capable of serving as the cornerstone of a winning team. The Fever is aware of this. However, Boston has required steady backup behind her for the past 3 seasons and hasn't always had it. Dearest Dantis's return and consecutive injury problems have affected Indiana's front court depth. Establishing a veteran's minimum does not address that. At minimum pay, and Dantis has some experience off the bench and a warm body, which is good, but she won't be able to solve Indiana's size issue against the league's larger front courts. After all the acquisitions, Indiana's available space is between $1 million and $1.5 million for 2 players, which is sufficient to make a serious move. Rebecca Allen can shoot it from outside and fits the stretch 4 profile. Tammy Bentley adds size and agility. Brianna Turner is a forward with a defensive mindset who can contribute without a major role. Any of those additions would make a significant contribution without going over budget. We have a lot of things to get into, boy, since it seems like the Indiana Fever are looking to get another powerful forward. We have been anticipating the next Indiana Fever domino to fall. Additionally, this was just published. Look at it. There we have it. Who is that, do you know? Who is that, do you know? Maisha Hines-Allen is that person. She used to play with the Lynx, I guess. She was a player for the Dallas Wings, and it's possible that she may be the next casualty because she uploaded a picture in which she essentially wiped out the Dallas Wings emblem using the colors of the Indiana Fever. However, the most popular name in Maisha Hines-Allen is now the subject of Fever rumors, and since she plays a different game than everyone else on that list, she merits more than a passing mention. It's difficult to plan around Hines-Allen's physical attributes. Before the ball ever reaches her, she battles for position. She takes down rebounds in traffic that other forwards simply watch bounce away. And she finishes through contact rather than around it. Play runs are not necessary for her to be helpful, which has a significant impact on Boston, who needs touches and room to perform at her peak. Although her 3-point shooting percentage isn't high enough to make her a true floor spacer, she can still make them. Therefore, unlike Allen, she won't stretch defenses. Instead, when Boston starts working, she makes the game more difficult for both the person protecting her and the one standing close to the hoop. With this roster identity, Indiana has been working toward just that physical advantage. Maisha Hines-Allen contributes tenacity to all she does. There will be no punking her. There will be no bullying of her. More must be done. We require a goon squad. All right, we already know that Caitlin Clark was the target of a strike. And for the previous 2 years, she was the WNBA's most sought-after player. Should Hines-Allen decide to join with Indiana, the Fever would abruptly put 2 enforcers simultaneously on the ground. Cunningham is defending Clark and making it difficult for anyone to interact physically with her in the backcourt. For Boston in the paint, Hines-Allen is doing the same thing in the front court. Physically speaking, that team is different from the one that ran deep in 2025, and it fills the precise void that Dallas and New York are designed to exploit. Once more, the Liberty is stacking talent. Atlanta Smith, the 2025 Co-Defensive Player of the Year, has joined Dallas. Indiana will need to defeat the Wings in order to win a championship because they are constructing something substantial and physical. Compared to Indiana last season, both teams are larger and more physical up front, and guard play alone won't be enough to close that deficit every single night. Smith and Stevens weren't overpaid by Indiana, and only if the money they saved ends up on a front court item that alters the situation does that appear to be the proper decision. It's a great move for the Indiana Fever. She plays a part. She is adept at playing a part. She is doing well thus far. She is free to leave the bench. Myisha Hines-Allen can give you anything you require. Unlike Natasha Howard, she is not a black hole. After signing, Sophie Cunningham said, "I have a feeling this is going to be another amazing season. Thus, let's get spicy. I'm excited to start things and, of course, to keep playing in front of the best fans in the WNBA." And that's not a player who feels shortchanged. Hull has a multi-year contract in place. Mitchell is using her Supermax. Billings agreed to a multi-year contract. Additionally, Tyasha Harris has returned. It's a truly deep guard rotation. Myisha Hines-Allen is the name that would put an end to the front court debate. Are you thrilled to see Sophie again? Who do you suppose the Fever signed as its second enforcer? Tell me in the comments section below. To ensure you never miss anything, like, subscribe, and enable all notifications. We'll see you in the video when you click on it. Next,